Will healers ever become irrelevant? Right now in the current game state of Honkai Star Rail, healers like Bailu or Natasha are like mainstay staples in most team compositions. For those of us lucky enough to have, for example, 2 healers, we are able to push through the Memory of Chaos harder content very easily right now. But I think one of the biggest questions I was thinking, especially with Lota's live stream, do we all really need healers, and eventually will there be a point of time where perhaps healers become less relevant and less necessary as well? But I just want to share with you my thoughts in terms of what could change in the future as well. I think first and foremost, the most important thing is once we have gear with the ability to lifesteal and counter. For example, we see it a little bit in a character like Hook, where she has a bit of sustain when she hits a character that's burning, a bit of healing like 5%. But if we do see more characters with such attributes, when you hit a target you heal, or maybe when you get hit you heal in terms of the kit, or maybe we have a certain relic set which is introduced in future with a bit more sustain. Currently, we do have one available which is called the Guard of Wuthering Snow. It gives a bit of sustain when it's less than 50%, but this is not like pure lifesteal kind of set. So I think if we have a set in future that allows us to, for example, lifesteal in the 2-piece set bonus, as well as maybe we have a set that allows us to counter attack in the 4-piece set bonus, comboing them together and your characters are relatively chunkier, we might be able to see a day where healers are no longer very relevant, especially if, for example, you can just counter attack and lifesteal. And for those of you who think it's a bit of a stretch, a lot of the games available currently in turn-based games do like to add counter at some point in the game because it adds in an additional mechanic. You see that in a character like Clara already, who is able to counter with Savarot when you have the enhanced counter modes and stuff like that when teammate or herself are attacked. And one of the things to know is when you add in a very simple lifesteal set, it really makes Clara into a mainstay in terms of ability to counter as well as lifesteal itself. In that case, I would say healers will become less relevant. So that's situation number 1, when we have ability to counter as well. So what is the second case where I think that healers will become less relevant? The second situation will be, for example, preservation characters like Mark 7, Japat as well as Fire MC are very good alternatives to the current healer class comp. For those of you who don't know, a lot of people are mentioning Japat as a popular alternative if you don't have Bailu. And the reason because shielding is almost the same as healing in a sense, especially if you can get enough uptime on the shield. And it is better in some cases as well. And the reason for that is, if you look at Bailu healing here, it's based on the amount of HP characters have. So if you have a very squishy character, let's say my Zealer here with 3k HP, or maybe Pella here which is like 2k plus HP, if the enemy is dealing 2.5k, Pella's just going to get one-shotted. So regardless of how much healing I have, if it's beyond the HP, healers or the squishier characters generally will die. The advantage of shielders as an alternative to healers is, for example, when you have a shield that is added on. For example, my Japat is like something like 1k plus HP. It basically makes his effective HP now 3.8, and a squishier character like Pella now has 3.2k HP as well. As long as the shield stays on long enough and has good amounts of uptime, this in a sense makes preservation characters much better than healer characters, especially if you can get that huge shield uptime as well. Of course, a lot of us now prefer healers because we don't have that one-shot ability yet. But I do think as the game goes by and we have more harder content added in the game, especially where you have multiple enemies shooting the same target at the same time and the character can't sustain that much damage, I do think one shot will become very, very significant. And in that case, running a healer or healers will definitely become less relevant, especially if you don't have the HP pool to sustain as well. This is one of the situations where a character that scales with attack like Lota might be at risk as well, because if Lota is just building, for example, full attack, his HP might not be super high as well. Maybe you'll be very similar to a 5-star stat character, for example like Zealer or Jingyuan with about 3k HP. So if your healer gets one-shotted, most likely it might not be enough sustain for the rest of the team. So that's like the major thing to consider. And I'm definitely going to be doing more videos like this in terms of questioning the current game state and how it is going to be like in future as well. If you appreciate such thoughts and commentary as well, do like and subscribe for more of such future content. Leave a nice comment and do click on these 2 other videos which I think you may be interested in as well. See you in the next video.